Good evening and welcome to the April 26th reorganization meeting of the Milton School Committee. My name is Beverly Ross Denny and I'm the acting chairwoman pro tem. First, I'd like to congratulate and welcome our newly elected members of the Milton School Committee, Bao Chi and Mark Loring. And I'd like to call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock p.m. Our first matter of business is to repeat the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you all please stand? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first item on our agenda for this reorganization meeting is to nominate a chair for the school committee. And I would like to get member suggestions for the position of chair.
I'd like to nominate Dr. Elizabeth Carroll.
I second that.
Yeah.
Dr. Carroll, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
All right. So may I have a motion to close the nominations for chair?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
And we will all vote by raising our hand whether we are in favor. Guess there's no against and abstain. The motion carries unanimously. So at this time, we will need to take a roll call vote by member for the position of chair. Each member must openly state for whom they are voting by name or abstention. Dr. Carroll, you're first.
Yes.
Member Loring,
Dr. Carroll.
Member Chi,
Dr. Carroll.
Member Rose Denny, Dr. Carroll, and Member Varghese.
Dr. Carroll.
Thank you. So with that, congratulations, Dr. Carroll. And I am going to pass the meeting on to you, but first we have to make a motion to adjourn the reorganization meeting.
Oh, you have to elect the vice chair first, before you
According
adjourn.
to this, the vice chair,
It's part of the reorg.
okay. So, let's do this all over again for the position of vice chair. So, we will also be accepting nominations for the position of vice chair. Any suggestions?
I suggest you.
Yes.
Any other suggestions?
I suggest you as well.
So I was actually going to, knowing that you are stepping into chair finance subcommittee, I was also gonna propose suggesting Dr. Miranda, but she's not here.
Which is usually how you get elected to things.
That's right. So, I also would like, I actually thank you very much for nominating me for vice chair. And I see, like, where on this order do I say I prefer to also recommend Dr. Miranda for the position of vice chair? So at this time, Dr. Miranda is not here to accept the nomination. So
What
how
do we
should we
do?
proceed? I
She's-
think we should wait.
She's still in traffic.
So you could defer it and then go on to the rest of the meeting and then come back to it.
I think that's
Perfect.
a wonderful idea. So at this time, I once again will ask that we vote to, I need a motion to adjourn the reorganization meeting, and then we will revisit the item of nominating and electing a vice chair. May I have a motion to adjourn the
So
reorganization
moved.
meeting?
Yeah.
Second?
Second.
All in favor by raising your hand? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. It's all yours.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to call to order a regular Milton School Committee meeting, which will be very brief. We do have only a couple of short items to address. But I will call this meeting to order at 7:05. And The first item on our agenda is under the superintendent's report to learn about, and then we will vote on the appointment of Director of Consolidated Facilities. Dr. Bikini.
Yep, thank you. Many people know that Bill Ritchie is retiring as the Director of Consolidated Facilities after years of service. Collectively and collaboratively with the town, we've done a search process, and we're happy to recommend the appointment of Chris Hayden, who has years of experience in facilities. He's also a Milton resident and has 2 children at Pierce Middle School. Looking for support from the committee on the appointment. Included in your packet is an overview of his employment contract, and this requires joint approval both between this school committee and the town. So I'm hoping there is a level of support from the school committee.
Well, Mr. Hayden, it's great to meet you. Thank you for being here tonight, and I would like to make a motion to authorize the superintendent to sign the employment contract for Christopher Hayden as Director of Consolidated Facilities. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion?
One question. Has Dr. Burrows had the opportunity, privilege of meeting Mr. Hayden yet?
I feel not yet.
Not yet.
No, but we can make that happen. Mr. Hayden's also spent time with Bill Ritchie. He's been in the district a day and a half visiting schools, so we thank him for his time. And when Dr. Burrows and him are in the same place at the same time, we'll make sure it happens.
Did Dr. Burrows participate in the screening process?
He did not.
Okay.
Dr. Miranda.
Dr. Miranda, we're, just to bring you up to speed, so we have a motion on the floor to authorize the superintendent to sign the employment contract for Christopher Hayden, the gentleman here, as Director of Consolidated Facilities. So we temporarily adjourned the completion of the reorganizational meeting, and we're doing these business items, and then we'll come back to that.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So I'll give you a second to get settled. Any other questions or comments about this authorization? Okay, so then if we're ready to take a vote.
Need a second? I second. Oh, Mark did, so good to go.
Yeah, Mr. Loring seconded, and so all in favor? Aye, great. Mr. Hayden, that's unanimous, so welcome to your new position, and looking forward to working with you. All right, the next item on the agenda is under the chair's report. This is just really part of the business of kind of transitioning to the new school committee. So in our packets, we have a copy of the current subcommittee and advisory committee assignments that we've all been working under this this current year. So as we all understand, obviously, yesterday was election day, so the election happens before the end of the school year, right? We have been working on these assignments more or less for the past year, and what I wanted to do is share these back out and invite each of you to indicate to me what your preferences are for serving on subcommittees and advisory committees going forward into next year. So for those of us who are, continuing to serve, can you please let me know if you would like to remain on the committees that you've been serving on this year, or if you would like a change in the committee that you're serving on. For the two of you new members, can you please look through this packet? Not right now. We can continue the conversation and just maybe follow up with me individually with questions that you might have. Once I've sort of heard people's preferences for the different committees, then, you know, I'll do my best to make sure that we kind of use everybody's preferences to make our assignments in a way that covers the bases of staffing up all the committees that we need. Just Mark and Bow, for your information, the two sort of most, I'm not gonna say most important, but they are the official subcommittees of the school committee, would be finance and policy right here. And there can only be 3 members on each of those 2 committees because we can't have a quorum of the full school committee on either of those 2. And that actually goes for all the rest of them. There can be no more than 3 members on any one of these committees. So the goal is to just assign us all to a variety of roles that let us use our gifts and talents most effectively. And also just to point out that once we do make some like assignments or changes, if we need to change the scheduling of these subcommittee meetings to accommodate, you know, the schedules of the people that are now serving, we'll just definitely do that, no problem. So, are there any questions on this topic or comments without necessarily like telling me your hopes and dreams for your subcommittee assignments?
Next meeting. Hopes and
Exactly.
dreams.
Just to thank and acknowledge you, Member Rosteni, and your service on finance, because you have sort of, as the most like senior member on the finance subcommittee, Beverly has taken over where Betty left off in terms of signing our warrants, right? Preparing to represent us in the budget discussions at our upcoming town meeting. So thank you for your work on that. I know finance is definitely a important subcommittee. It meets most frequently, and thanks for your work that you've already, I know you already are ready to pick that up, but you need 2 people to join you. Okay, so if there are any more questions, any questions about the subcommittee piece, I'll send an email to all of us that just follows up on what I just shared, and then you can be in touch with me directly. Okay, so that brings us to the last item on our regular agenda for this evening, and then we can return back to the reorganization. So approval of minutes. We have one set of minutes to approve from April 12th. Was everyone able to review these? Okay. So is there a motion to approve the minutes
So
for
moved.
April 12th? Okay, thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay, Member Varghese, thank you. All in favor? Okay. Any abstaining? Okay, so 2 abstaining and 4 in favor. Thank you very much. I guess with that, we sort of
Go back.
officially conclude our previous school committee minutes, moving back towards the reorganization of this current school committee. Okay, so do we have to go back into the
I
other
think you might just
meeting?
inform Dr. Miranda what happened while she was gone.
Yeah, sorry,
Thank
Dr.
you, thank you.
Yeah, actually, so sorry.
I'm
If you
sorry for
didn't
being
infer
late.
it, I actually was nominated, accepted the nomination, and was voted to be the chair of the school committee. That's
Congratulations.
why I'm actually
That's good.
talking. I'm sorry.
Should we stick the mic?
And while you were not here, we entertained nominations for vice chair. And Just to go back through, bringing up to speed, I guess, there were 2 nominations for Member Ross Denny, and 2 nominations for you, including Member Ross Denny. And we didn't have other nominations, and at that point, we realized we would adjourn the meeting until we could come back and ask you if you would accept the nomination that Member Ross Denny declined, and would you accept the nomination for vice chair?
I do.
Okay, great. So, I guess then we will take a vote to approve your election to vice chair. Can I refer to the language that you have on your laptop, because I don't have that? Thank you. Okay, so,
To close the nominations.
all right, so we will, yes, vote to close the nominations. Sorry, a motion to close nominations.
I make a motion to close the nominations for the position of vice chair.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
So we will now vote to close the nominations by raising our hands. Okay. So we will now take a roll call vote by member for the position of vice chair. Each member must openly state for whom they are voting by name or abstain. Member Chu?
Yes.
Say,
I have to
Dr.
say the name,
Miranda.
right? Dr. Miranda.
Member Laurie?
Dr. Miranda?
Okay. Myself, Dr. Miranda. Member Ross Denny?
Dr. Miranda?
Member Varghese?
Dr. Miranda.
Member Dr. Miranda?
I vote for
Do you-
myself, but I accept.
Okay. All right,
Thank you.
congratulations, Dr. Miranda.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And at this time, I think we can just move to adjourn the
Move to
meeting.
adjourn?
I second.
All right, I am trying to really set a tone for concise and, thorough but efficient meetings. So is there a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting?
I make a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting.
Okay, thank you. A second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Terrific. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
This is going to be fun.
Wow.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Congratulations.